Hey everyone, and welcome to Darksiders 2 Deathinitive Edition, Deathinitive difficulty walkthrough. You're going to see me selecting the difficulties there. This is the remastered edition of Darksiders 2, a game that I really liked. That I had it on my Steam account, but I had the vanilla version, and this comes with all the DLC. 1080p at 60 FPS, and I think it's a really enjoyable game. Now, there are a lot of qualities to this game that are lacking. There are a lot of pacing problems. Sometimes the game just kind of feels like it has fallen in a hole of boring stuff, of boredom. But it only lags a few times, because every time you actually do some fighting is really good. And I remember playing through apocalyptic difficulty back in my Steam, and never finish it. I never remember why exactly. So that's actually not the game looking up, but it's telling me to dodge. This is the tutorial level. This is the first level. We're going to have two boss fights, even if it is a tutorial level. And as far as I can tell, the Deathinitive edition is not giving me like in 2 or 3 shots, but you have to take in consideration that I'm talking about only this level, because I have recorded only this level. This is sort of like a teaser walkthrough. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to finish Uncharted before moving on to Darksiders 2 and moving on to Transformers Devastation, which are going to be my next walkthroughs. And at the same time I'm going to cover Fallout 4, so this is a really busy moment, but I just wanted to leave this video like the first part of my walkthrough, because I really looking forward to cover this game. This is a beautiful game, guys. It has an amazing soundtrack. It looks really nice, even though it might look dated for the PS4, because we have already seen a lot of better looking games. But it's just, the combat is really good. The RPG aspect of equipping weapons and armor is tons of good. And did you know, on top of adding a new difficulty that is hard to pronounce, as the name of the game, Deathinitive difficulty, they have done something that for me it never happened in a Definitive edition, in a remastered edition. They actually integrated all the DLCs into the game, into the main story, into the missions. So that's a lot of job to make in a game. They really liked this game. They really wanted this game to make more sense, because what happens when you get a DLC, because I got a few for pre-ordering the PC version really back when it first came out, is that the game gives you weapon at the start of the game. Like after this tutorial mission, you can just get equipment and weapons from a store that is basically the DLCs. And there are a lot of DLCs that are just weapons and armor, and there are other DLCs that are other stories with its own bosses. Now I'm going to cover all I can, because I just love this game. So if I just do a DLC, I'm going to do the DLC, and I mean the extra content, the extra bosses, and then I will continue to do the main missions, because I'm not going to be fucking around in the open world. It's not really an open world, by the way, guys. It's just a sort of hub world where you have to move with your horse. It's just to get you from a combat situation to the next. It's not really that of an open world, but it has sort of like a Zelda feel, as the first one had. You open chests, you get better equipment. The drop is random, so you can actually you don't know when you're going to get better equipment. I don't know where I'm going to get the DLCs. Armor and weapon stuffs. Like, you have to actually earn them. and you're not just given the items at the beginning of the game. And that was something that really impressed me, because when I first started this game, I just went to my inventory and I say, okay, I just wanted to see how much of the weapons the game already gave me, not to use it in the walkthrough, but I just wanted to know, and I had nothing. And I thought at the beginning that it was like already a bug from this version, like it was already a mistake. So I went to the forum of the remastered version, and actually there is one people from Relic that says exactly what I already said, that they have integrated all the DLC, all the weapons, all the armor in treasure chests, in like rewards for killing bosses. You have to earn it now, and I just love that. I love that the game doesn't give you any fucking thing. And I also remember the drop being a lot higher than this. I don't know, I remember like already in this mission, like killing a few enemies, they already dropped a lot of stuff, and I didn't get that much stuff. So I don't think if the drop rate is also lower in this difficulty. I could answer that question when I move on to other missions and move on in the game. So I love the fighting mechanics. I love that you can that you are giving 2 or 3 frames, 2 or 3 invisible frames that you press R1 to dodge. In the PlayStation, this is a PS4 version, and I love the targeting system. Now it's not really that complex. It just targets your closer enemy, the enemy that's closer to you. So it might not be very complex, but I just almost fight the entire enemies without targeting. You're going to notice it. And then I fight bosses with the targeting system. And right away here we're going to have the first boss of the game. It's an ice giant, and I think it's actually that name. The name of the boss is Ice Giant, and I'm going to equip the hammer because I love the hammer. It's something that I will probably be using through the entire game. Better hammers than this, of course, but I just love I love the hammer. I play with the hammer when I first played this game. So this is the Ice Giant. I don't know if you're going to see me getting hit here, but the Ice Giant can kill you in 3 or 4 punches. You have those green things under the first part. I'm going to explain this because I'm already talking too much about the game and not the systems themselves. Like the first bar that you see over there on the top that is gray, that's the experience bar. That's going to dictate when you level up, and when you level up you can get upgrades. Upgrades. You can get skills, and the skills are combat skills that you're going to learn with pressing L1 and some of the 4 buttons on the PS4. And you can actually decide what buttons to choose. I think that was always really cool. The game doesn't lock you in any of the controls. This is just a cutscene with him entering Reaper mode. That is something else. Reaper mode is activated when you get that little circle that is on the left of the health and the gray and the I guess it could be some light blue color. When you get that bar full, you can become the Reaper, and when you become the Reaper, because you play as Death, you become that huge monster with the scythe. Sorry, just blanked the main weapon of Death, the scythe, and you just it's like a overpowered version of yourself. You just do really a lot of damage. I would save keep the Reaper for really tough encounters and bosses. But I don't know how much difficulty this is going to get. I remember Apocalyptic not being that much difficult, but because you just get at some point, if you choose your skills well. If you don't choose your skill well, you're going to be half-assing every fight. But if you choose your skill well and your armor and your weapons, you're going to be a little overpowered, even for Apocalyptic. But the Deathinitive difficulty, I don't know. Maybe it will actually be troublesome later on in the game. I expect it to be troublesome. So I just love this game. This game has a really good fighting system. As I said before, it has an incredible soundtrack. Incredible fucking soundtrack. I like the voice acting of Death. I don't know who does it actually. I'm going to find out. But I like the voice acting. I like the story. It's not bad. By the way, the last bar that is light blue, right down there, is actually you could call them like a sort of skill use bar or stamina or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure it has an actual name, and I'm sure it was right there in the stat, right to the right of the lower right of the screen. You can pause it. I'm sure it's going to tell you. I'm sorry, I just don't remember exactly the name. And basically what it is like, see that I got hit right there. Sorry for interrupt. See, I got hit again, and each hit is taking like 1/4 of my total health. And these are the tutorial enemies. So I really think this is going to get difficult. I hope so. So I was talking about that skill. Yeah, each time you use one of the skills that you select when leveling up, is going to take some of that bar. And those green and light blue pots that are at the last part of my HUD, of my health, stamina and experience HUD, is what exactly just said. Is pots of HP and pots of, and what's that? I didn't do that on purpose, guys. Just Death didn't grab the pole there. There he grabbed it. I don't know why. So as you can see, if you fall, it's going to take health and it's going to reposition you just after the fall. So I don't think I complained when I played on Apocalyptic about any checkpoint. It's one of those games that is really fairly checkpoint. I do think that there are some hard parts later in the game, some really tough parts, and I think there is only one checkpoint in each of those sections, and it could be considered bad. But we're going to see the second boss right here. As you can see, also another thing that this game features that the old game didn't, is dynamic lighting. They changed the static lighting to dynamic. So now all the lighting is processed live while we play, right? So this is War. This is the character of the first game. Of course, did you see that damage? That was really high. Oh, and that wasn't. I guess the other attack was really dangerous. So I haven't healed though. But this is again another tutorial boss. It's not really that difficult. This is not the actual character of the first game though, as spoilers. This is just another character that is disguised like him, just to fight Death. But the reason why we are trying to kill this guy is just to save the real War. To save Earth that is already destroyed, and to kinda save War somehow. But I don't want to talk about the whole story because it's boring. You know, it's a great story, it's cool, it's a cool story. More if you play the first one. But it's not really that great. So he has a couple of moves. This is not really dangerous, not even in Deathinitive. You just have to move like I do and just hit him with the hammer or whatever heavy weapon you have. You're going to get through it. So this was the first part, guys, of my walkthrough of the Deathinitive difficulty of Darksiders 2 Remastered. And we'll see each other in part 2. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like this new walkthrough. Take care.